That may be one of the most divisive movies I have ever seen. Welcome back to Wrestling with Horror. My name is Andrew Dreamer, and Halloween Ends has finally been released. I've been looking forward to this movie all year long. Actually, I've been looking forward to it ever since Halloween Kills was announced, when they said they were shooting movies back to back. And during the lockdown, they decided not to do that and to go into a different direction and include a time jump. And here we are. Halloween Ends. 4 years after the Halloween 2018 was released. So, this movie, for better or worse, was completely different than anything we've ever seen in the Halloween franchise up to this point. There is not a single movie that is even remotely close to this one, other than the fact that Michael Myers is in the movie. That's pretty much it. But was that good? Was it bad? Well, I'm not going to get into a lot of detail in this video. I just wanted to give my initial out-of-theater response. So this is spoiler-free, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, don't worry, I'm not going to give away any details. So, just at the very basic level, I enjoyed this movie. I didn't really get to do a whole lot of analyzing, but for the most part, I enjoyed what I was seeing on screen. I like this new approach that they've taken, that the creative team has done, and honestly, it feels like a different team almost. I still see, David Gordon Green's input on the movie. I still see his direction, his writing, along with Danny McBride and the other two people that helped. I see that there. But they took such a different route to get to where they're going in this movie that it feels different. Let's go to characters. So, one of my favorite aspects of this whole movie was Laurie Strode. I like what they did with her character in this movie. I think that it was a vast improvement over Halloween Kills. Now, mostly because I think her dialogue is much better written in this movie. She feels like a actual person who has experienced things, who feels things, instead of just this shell of a person who is there. Laurie feels like a person who has been through some stuff, who has life experience, who knows what pain and suffering really is. And she is using that to try to move on. But in the back of her head, she knows that she has to always be prepared. Like, it's still there. It doesn't just go away. So I like what they gave her to say in this movie. I like what they gave her to do. Same thing with Andy Matichak's character, Allison. They did a good job with her character as well, taking her on a journey through this movie, seeing how she reacted to both of her parents being killed by Michael. I think that was a vast... she was utilized very well in this film. And, you also had the returning Will Patton, who is... just Will Patton's great. He's good in everything he does. So I like that. The character of Corey Cunningham, for the most part, I was actually pretty happy with what they did with this character. I enjoyed that they actually had this character go on a journey. And it was very much inspired by a certain story that most of us have probably heard by now. John Carpenter directed the film. So, in that aspect, I was able to draw those parallels and those connections in my mind and follow it along that way, and I enjoyed that. So, moving away from the characters, the set design I thought was brilliant. The setting, like the feel, it felt like fall. There was a lot, like, just warmer tones, and it just... it felt like a Halloween movie in the aesthetic. There were a lot of shots in the film that I could feel Dean Cundy definitely inspired those shots. They were very much like him, and I appreciate that so much. I love that. Special effects, makeup, everything. Christopher Nelson did a fantastic job. Him and his team, kudos to them. They always knock it out of the park, and that was no exception in this at all. Of course, the score was a little different for this movie, but John Carpenter, Cody Carpenter, and Daniel Davies knocked it out of the park once again. Did not expect any less from them. The score was fantastic. Now, I don't want to seem like I'm heaping too much praise on this movie. I need to rewatch it a couple times to kind of really let my feelings of it sink in, but I did enjoy it for this first viewing. Not to say that it was perfect, because it was definitely not perfect. There were a lot of flaws. I think the third act could have been a lot better, even down to just the very last shots of the movie. There was just more there. There was something different that could have been done that could have just elevated this whole story even more, in my opinion. But like I said, those were just my initial thoughts. So let me know down below if you've seen the movie yet. Let me know what you think. What did you like about this movie? What did you not like? Let's try to keep away from the spoilers in the comments. So for the rest of the next few weeks in Halloween, a lot of this is going to be geared towards the Halloween franchise. I'm going to probably do a spoiler review in a couple days after this. I'm going to do a Halloween ranking, including this new film. Probably throw in a few other ideas with the franchise there. I'm not 100% sure yet. It just depends on what my work schedule is like and the time I have. But there is a lot of Halloween content coming your way. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We are moving right along with October. It's still right in the middle of 31 days. Horrified. It's doing great. It has exceeded my expectations tenfold. So please don't forget to check back every day to see what movie I'm reviewing. And my name is Andrew Dreamer, and I will see you next time on Wrestling with Horror.